Hey everyone, so I wanted to do this video today. It is, I believe, like the third going on the fourth week of this semester for school in my diagnosing class. And so our school is trying something new, which I'm really irritated about. It's all these live discussions. Now, mind you, this is an online school, so I picked it specifically because I wanted to be able to work and be able to control at least some parts of my own schedule when it came to school and work-life balance. This school is interrupting this. For some reason, they think that having multiple live discussions, like, okay, so we have our town hall meetings, which happens once every semester in the beginning of the semester, either the first or the second week. Okay, you don't have to go to that, but you do get extra credit, like 5 points or whatever. It used to be 10, but 5 extra points for showing up and just basically listening. No effort involved. Like, literally, you could be doing whatever. You don't even have to have your video on or your microphone or anything like that. So that's not an issue. My issue comes from where we have to sign up for times. Most of the times the professors pick for these live discussions. Now, mind you, we also have discussion posts and papers to do. So it's not like this is eliminating discussion posts, like the written posts that we have to do in the course forum. This is in addition to. So they've added more work. The times that they have are ridiculous. Like, a lot of them are during the work day, and they already know, like, a huge majority of their course, like, their students actually work. I mean, like, we're all pretty much, except for a few people, on the East Coast or Central Time. So when you're picking times and you're like, okay, discussion at 11 o'clock or 10 o'clock in the morning, I'm sorry, and they're an hour long, there's no way you're going to really expect that you're going to have students that work do this. I mean, it's ridiculous. You see some people and they're having to sit in their car. Like, I'm on lunch right now. I had to get this off my chest because it's just like bugging the living shit out of me. Excuse me, but it really is, because we do these discussions, and quite honestly, I feel like it's a waste of time. If I am looking at a case, and this kind of piggybacks on my last video that I did. If I'm looking at a case and then we have to write up on this little bit of information what we feel like the diagnosis is, the individual factors, the systemic factors, the cultural, biological, neurological factors to determine if it goes with the DSM-5 diagnosing criteria. If we're doing all that in a written post, why am I then having to also do it in a live discussion when in the post we're already back and forth discussing it? So these discussions are completely wasteful. Most of us just sit there and look at each other like, okay, TikTok, I have a whole hour that I have to sit here. And so I'm gonna be honest, the last one, I just lost it. Like, I've had no sleep. I'm at my wit's end. I'm working for a company that I cannot stand. I'm wigging out. Like, I know it doesn't look like it. It probably looks like she's like, oh, she's laughing, but I am losing my marbles right now. Like, I need somebody to diagnose me from the DSM because I've already semi-diagnosed myself. But maybe I need somebody else to intervene and just like check what I've already discovered I probably am suffering from. Because okay, so like I was saying in the last video, we had this case where it was an African-American male, and basically he didn't want to leave his classroom. He had erratic behavior. Remember, I was talking about the girl that was like, oh, I'm so scared. He's a black guy. I don't know what to do. Oh my God, the black guy. I'd be so scared. Okay, because she's definitely going to be like the best racist clinical counselor ever. And so we're sitting there and the girl that's running it, now mind you, this is not a professor, this is just another student. It's like a residency 2 student that's already doing her field work. So this is just another student that's running this. Okay, so she was 20 minutes late. Did you hear me? 20 minutes late, and this is an hour. And I'm not talking about, 20 minutes, like, okay, so let me be real. It was 8 minutes in. Now, every minute counts when you literally have no time and you're squeezing in these live discussions that you never accounted for when you signed up for this program, because this is something that they decided to do, which I already have complained about several times because it's quite ridiculous, and I would have never picked this school if I've known this was a part of it. I don't even care. Like, this is ridiculous. It's not what I signed up for at all. And so she's gonna sit up here and she's on her phone. Like, this is BlueJeans. I don't know if you guys are familiar with BlueJeans, but our school uses BlueJeans a lot. And I'm probably just ranting and raving. Like, I'll probably look at this video and be like, okay, Camille, it's not that bad. But right now I'm just in the heat of the moment. Like, she's sweating. And so the girl shows up late to the discussion that's supposed to be the moderator, and she's on her phone instead of on video. Like, this is supposed to be video interactive conference time, and she's like, oh, my laptop's down, so I'll just have to call in. And she's like, well, I guess we could narrow down what we think the diagnoses are from the list that we made last week. And so she's like, well, you guys could just kind of talk amongst yourself. I'm like, what? Like, we've been sitting here almost 10 minutes waiting for you. So, like, nobody was talking. So then finally, magically, she was able to get her laptop working and was able to get on BlueJeans video. And everybody's kind of like, well, I think we can rule out this, and I think we can rule out that. And I'm looking at everybody like, we don't even have enough information. Like, really, everybody fails because there's not enough information to give a client a diagnosis after reading a small paragraph. We have no pattern of history. We have no family history. We have no medical checkup that's been given to us. Like, nothing that is really indicative of being able to diagnose this patient. I mean, it's ridiculous. So I'm sitting there like, is this real life right now, or am I on like DSM-5 punked? What is this? And so I chime in and I said, I feel like this is a waste. Yes, I did, because I'm the type of person, like, my time is precious and I try and squeeze in as much as I can, like, hence me doing a video right now in the middle of my 30-minute lunch. I'm used to an hour, but yeah, that's a whole nother thing. And so you're gonna sit up here and waste my time? No, you're definitely getting called out on it. So the girl was like, well, what do you mean it's a waste? And I'm looking at her like, okay, I thought that was pretty clear. But I go in and I'm like, we're sitting up here, we're trying to narrow down diagnosis. Like, I was fine last week when we were kind of just hypothesizing what we thought it could be with the little information that we had. But to fool on out and sit here and say, okay, now narrow it down to 2, like, as if this person could have a co-occurring diagnosis that we could fill out a comorbidity form on with all their ICD-10 numbers. I mean, come on, get real. That's not even real. So I was like, this isn't real life. Like, I work in the medical industry, and let me just tell you right now, like, your license will get ripped away from you in a hot flash. I'm sorry, I had to just, like, I'm so wound up right now, I had to move the camera. But your license would get ripped away in a flash. So I'm not really understanding why this isn't being called out as basically malpractice being practiced. And so I said, there's not enough information for us to narrow it down, and this is a waste of time. We're all guessing. We're all saying, oh, well, we think it's this. Okay, what's the point? Because we just did the same thing last week. Now you want us to re-talk about what we just talked about? I don't have time for that. And so the girl was like, well, I agree, and if you want, you can talk to Dr. Foster. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna talk to Dr. Foster. And where's that gonna go? Because it's already like the 4th week in, and I can't even get a meeting scheduled with her. She's my advisor. Like, I don't even care right now. Like, this is how irritated I am. And so I'm like, okay, great. You're going to talk to her. And then this girl, now mind you, this is African-American female, white female. Well, now mind you, she started out with, oh, I agree with you, blah, 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 blah. Typical response. Well, if you don't like it, I mean, you can just leave. Was this chick serious? Like, this is my grade. I have a 4.0. I can just leave. How about you can just be productive in this instead of making up things and thinking that we're going to sit back? Because mind you, she gets a grade off of this too. And if I was the professor grading her, I'd be like, F for failed, because you're failing. You can't sit here and be the moderator and tell us to talk amongst ourselves, and you don't even have your screen pulled up. Like, it's supposed to be a working document that she shares on her screen while we're doing these live discussions. We can't even see the case. We can't even see what the diagnoses were that we had and the rationale that we had from the previous week. Like, none of us can see it because she never sent us the working document. Like she said, we only had the previous week's working document that didn't have the updated information. So we're all sitting there like, okay, you need to do your part. So for her to kind of take that little passe victimized tone, like, well, if you don't like it, you can just leave, knowing that my grade's attached to it. Do I look dumb? No. So yes, this is a complete and utter rant. And you're gonna have those. You're gonna have moments when you're in school, and you have to remember, you are spending money. You are the customer. You're the customer. Don't let them think that they rule you. They work for you. So when you feel like you're being taken advantage of, or you feel like your time's being wasted, or you feel like you're not learning what you should be learning, like, mind you, I am getting my license to practice. So I have to make sure that what I am being taught is going to help me get my license. That is not something I'm going to take lightly, because that is also another stack of dollar bills involved in that. So when I have my money involved, my time involved, you best believe I'm going to sit here and I'm going to say something. Like, you would be stupid not to. Like, quite honestly, there's a lot of sheep sitting there saying, I don't think it's a waste of time. But meanwhile, they're complaining about, I can't believe we have to do these live discussions. I'm not the type of person that's going to sit back and say, I'm going to complain to other people and I'm not going to say something in the moment. Like, I've already tried to schedule several meetings with my advisor that's the same professor of this class. And yeah, I can't get any times because she's always like, oh, I'm booked. Okay, I get it. Great. But don't be acting brand new when these concerns come to you, because this is not new. A lot of students have voiced their concern. I had another girl say that in the middle of hers, she told the professor she wasn't interested in talking and leave her alone. Like, I wish I would have been in that one. But anyways, because that's hilarious to me. I mean, because you have to understand, I have a discussion even tonight. Okay, so that is a total of 2 live discussions in 1 week. One was on Tuesday at 7 o'clock at night, and now I have one tonight, which is Thursday at 8 o'clock tonight. And it's a PowerPoint presentation. Like, literally, I have to go home tonight after work and finish this PowerPoint presentation in order to spend 10 to 15 minutes talking about it, just to have other people that don't know what they're talking about either go over what they think the diagnosis should be in comparison to what I said it should be. Okie dokie, we gotta put this in the discussion post. Like, I just don't understand. Like, when we were about to do residency and we were practicing how to actually interact with clients, I felt like it was much more beneficial to have these live discussions because it gave you that interaction that you needed. But when it comes to diagnosing and just looking at a case on a piece of paper and then just talking about it the same way we're actually writing about it in another discussion post for the same class in the same week, it's redundancy, and it really doesn't help because we're all sitting there, including the moderator girl, not knowing what to do. So if we're all on this level of I don't knows, how are we going to get answers? It's not productive if you're not moving forward with a concrete understanding and knowledge. So when you are in school, you need to make sure that you're not scared to speak up for yourself. And even if the people are like against you, or they want to be like, oh, well, I can't believe you said that, don't be concerned with them. You pay individual tuition. You don't pay group tuition that I'm aware of. And don't ever feel like you can't speak up for yourself. I think a lot of these schools, especially when you get to the master's level, it's kind of like they got you, because you really can't transfer out of where you're at. And it's not that this is a bad school. Every school's gonna have their things that are just gonna really irk you. And this, for me, is one of those things, because I feel like it's really not what they thought it was going to be. I think in their mind, they didn't have any ill will towards this whole process, and I think they thought it was going to be really productive and fun and interactive, and we would get a lot from it. But I mean, you have people that are laying down on the video, talking. I mean, like, it's completely unprofessional. It's just, I don't understand the mentality of some people that are okay with mediocrity. I don't, and I feel like putting up with this and not saying anything would be saying that I'm okay with a mediocre education, and I'm not. And I don't feel like this school is giving me that. I feel like this particular part of what they have implemented into the learning process could be eliminated. It, to me, is very useless. At least with this school, we do have surveys at the end of the discussions and at the end of each course to say what our opinions are. So it's definitely going to be in a very opinionated survey, and they do take the surveys seriously. I mean, we had one assistant professor that he just rubbed everybody the wrong way, and I don't even think he works for the school anymore, because I know a lot of us went in on the survey like our interactions were horrible with him. I mean, just absolutely grotesque behavior was happening between this associate professor and the students. It just left a lot of sour taste in people's mouths. So I'm sorry that this was a rant. Not really. But, you know, you're going to have your good days. You're going to have your bad days. And right now I'm just like kind of in a mood, and I'm having a bad day. And I might look at this video and cringe later like, maybe I shouldn't have said that. But I got to be real, and I got to stay true to myself. And you got to let your emotions out. Like, in this field, we learn to make other people let their emotions out. But, like, we have to let our emotions out, too. Like, we're human beings. And, you know, I just... I'm cracking. I'm really cracking under pressure right now. And I just am like... I gotta keep like thinking about the end goal, Dr. Riley, the end goal. But right now, all I can think is like, is it winter break? Because I am suffering. There's just a lot of things going on in my personal life. I just came back from DC, so I'll definitely have to do a video. I think that'll probably be a 2-part video. Because there's some things that occurred that is just really unsettling when I went to DC, but then there are some really great things that happened. So I think I'll kind of split the video up and do one on kind of the issues, like the political undertone, the racial undertone that was occurring, and then I'll also do a video of the highlights, because I feel like both areas need to be exposed. And it won't be anything new for anybody that is aware and is open to understanding the racial divide in the United States. It's I had a great time. There was just a lot of things that were unexpected. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it like that. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Let me know if you guys have these rants too. Maybe I'd have them and I just put them on video. I don't know. but she's suffering. So thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, check out my businesses. They do help me pay for college. So bye guys.